Today I'm going to tell you about a strategy that, using 3 indicators, will lead you to very good profits. This strategy has a win rate of over 75% and covers many smart money principles. I recommend not missing out on this strategy because it truly helps improve your profitability trend. This strategy can be applicable to all markets, including gold, Forex, crypto, and even stocks. In this video, we will also have a comprehensive analysis of Bitcoin's future, so stay with me until the end of this video. I would like to officially thank all the friends who share their trading strategies with me on Telegram. Well, I have placed my Telegram ID in the caption where you can contact me. The strategy I am presenting to you today is a combination of 2 strategies that friends have shared with me, and I have combined them myself. In my opinion, a very attractive strategy has emerged. At the end of this post, we will also take a look at the prop challenge we had and review the positions we took to see on what basis they were made and whether they were profitable or not. As I mentioned to you all, we use 3 indicators. We add 2 Bollinger Bands to the chart and double-click. And we proceed to make our settings on each of the Bollinger Bands we added. For the first Bollinger Band we change the standard deviation to 3, and we make the upper band a bit thicker, as well as the lower band. We also change its color to red. Again, for this Bollinger Band that we added, we set the standard deviation to 1.7, and for the style, we change the upper band to yellow, and the lower band to yellow as well. As you can see, 2 Bollinger Bands have been added with 4 distinctions and perhaps a bit of red. 2. I made the eyes of this one blue, so I changed the Bollinger Band with a standard deviation of 3 to blue and the one with a standard deviation of 1.7 to yellow, so they can be seen better. As we know, in TradingView, we have a limitation of 2 indicators. Therefore, to be able to add another indicator, we need to remove one of the Bollinger Bands. Remove them, and then we move on to the 3rd indicator. The indicator we use is Hawkeye, which was created by the same person, Nanda. Then we make some changes to its settings. We go to the Style tab, and the first color we have, we remove its color, and we also remove color 3. We also remove the tick spike, and then click OK. So, how does the method work? Now I will hide the Hawkeye oscillator, and then add the Bollinger to the chart again. Our method works like this. When our candles move rapidly towards the blue Bollinger Band and break it downwards, and after that we have an upward bullish movement. We look for a position to buy, and so here I will now remove the blue and create a box-like state here. This was the place where we had the movement towards the blue Bollinger, meaning we broke the blue Bollinger downwards twice here. So to be able to use the Hawkeye oscillator, I will hide the part we marked and come back again. I add the Hawkeye oscillator to the chart. If we look here, you can observe that we need to have a green candle moving upwards that has been able to break the orange line upwards. This has not happened for us here. And again, if we look at these candles, this event did not occur, meaning we do not take any position here. So again, we hide this and add the Bollinger Bands, looking for a place where there is a movement towards the lower blue Bollinger Band. This has happened here, but as I mentioned, we need a movement of retracement to have occurred. Here it gets disrupted. It was said that it created a side condition for us. If we want to analyze this part as well, you will notice that it couldn't break below the Bollinger with a deviation of 3. This is a place that we can say is suitable for us. So let's mark this area as well, because it has managed to break below here twice. When we use the Hawkeye on oscillator, you will notice that exactly what we had in mind happens here. We broke below the blue Bollinger On this candle, then we had a strong candle that managed to break above the yellow Bollinger line. And if we look here, when we check the Hawkeye, it managed to break above the orange line with a very good volume. So what we do is, with the breaking of this yellow line, I will now remove this. We place our stop loss below the string with them and look for an R-bar 1. As you can see, in this very candle, our R-bar 1 has been taken. Another thing we can do, as I mentioned before, is to perform trading, meaning we come and analyze. For example, we can use the middle Bollinger line as our stop loss point and come right here. I can almost say that we managed to get an R-bar 2 from this position. Let me also explain that you can place the Hawkeye oscillator in your third priority. For example, if you see a situation that is really suitable and attractive for you, you can work with both Bollinger Bands and set up your position. For instance, if you, right here, we conduct an analysis, you observe that it moves again towards. We moved along this blue line and then started a profitable move, meaning right here we could have taken a position and achieved an approximately 1.5 R-bar from this position. The interesting point about this strategy is that here, for example, we have a gap and a reversal, and if we had used the gap and reversal right here, we would have had a turning point with them. It would have been considered a pivot for us. So here we can really take a very good position. Well, let's also have a review here. We experienced a downward movement here, but as I mentioned, we might have experienced a rapid decline. Many friends who want to use Bollinger can also take a position right here, meaning when there was a downward movement on this blue line, and then the yellow line was broken upwards right here too. And look for an R-bar 1, which has easily been hit right here, meaning we could have easily executed a trade if we were trading, to capture around R-bar 7 from this position. As I mentioned before, if you do this, the probability of success and the win rate you will have is lower. There is no obligation to take a position here. As you can see, we had a downward movement, and even the blue line itself has a downward momentum. It has been broken down here and in this candle. The candle that has come has broken the yellow line upwards. We can take a position. Now, let me enlarge this a bit so it can be seen better. We are not placing the hawk indicator here at the moment. If we take a look at this now, well, here, exactly what we are looking for has happened, meaning the green line itself has broken the orange line upwards. So, what we do is, right here, with this line breaking upwards, we take a position and look for a 1-bar pullback, which is exactly what has happened here for us. Well, what we could do now, let me hide this. Hack and remove this so it can be seen better. What we could do is exactly what I mentioned to you, trailing. When you see a good candle like this, why should you close your position? You perform a trailing and can easily get a reward of about 5.5 from this position. And again, if we add the blue line to our chart, you can see that here, we almost came down to the lower level, handled this area, and experienced a reversal move here. So we can easily take a long position here, set the stop loss below the swing, and look for a pole 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Right here we also observe that we were able to achieve our 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and even if we had implemented a trailing stop, this position, although it slightly reduces the risk-reward ratio, would have closed with a profit. If we pay attention to the end of several positions we took, all positions closed with a profit. Now our chart is a gold chart on a 1-hour time frame. You can examine this in different time frames, even down to 1 minute, to see what the situation looks like. If we switch the chart to 5 minutes, for example, here it has given us a very good position, and as you can see, we had a gap down here. We had an order block, meaning we returned exactly to this order block, and a profitable move started. It's very interesting that when we experience this cross below the blue line, I've noticed that we, though, either have a gap down or liquidity has been liquidated, or we've experienced one of the smart money parameters. With the position I'm explaining to you, we could easily have a very attractive R-bar, meaning if we had implemented trailing, we could have easily achieved an R-bar of approximately 12-13 from this position, which is a very appealing figure. This is a very interesting point about this method, and that is when I was reviewing this on short positions, the performance wasn't really good, even on charts that had a downward trend. Now, it's true that Teller had an upward trend, and when I reviewed this on most charts, it really didn't give us very good rates. But when we conduct the review on buy positions, the performance is very. If you've been with me up to this point, make sure to check out the channel. I have posted a very attractive multi-strategy there that can really help improve your profitability. I've also shared my personal strategy in the channel, which I believe can assist in enhancing your profitability. I've included strategies based on different trading styles, styles based on ICT rhythm, and various price action styles. There are also strategies based on indicators that truly have good profitability. I highly recommend you visit the channel, make sure to subscribe, and share your thoughts about the strategies I've presented. Now let's move on to the analysis of Bitcoin and the status of the prop challenge that was undertaken. Alright, let's take a look at the prop challenge we had and see where our situation stands. As we can see, our current profit is $210, which I believe the last time we checked, it was $196. Let's also take a look at the history. You can see that. Now let me adjust this a bit. The majority of the positions I'm taking are really profitable, meaning the win rate I have is around 85 to 90%, which is a very good win rate. As I mentioned to you all, I will soon talk about the strategy I'm using. Now if we take a look at the overview, an interesting point is that our maximum drawdown is below 0.5%. Now I think this might be showing us an error. If we want to take a general look at it. Statement from Dazim. Viewers should note that in the analysis we conducted, approximately 58.6% were around 0.5%, and the initial profit we had was around 2%. Our recovery factor is 1.72, our profit factor is 1.72, and our recovery factor is 3.6. Approximately 67% of the positions we take are closed with a profit. And the interesting point is that we had a significant drop at 400, and this is very important. Let me explain this to you. Friends who have been with me from before know that, for example, I designed a robot and we experienced a price drop, for instance. Around here, we executed many small trades, which was mainly to test whether this strategy could really work in the real market or not. If it wasn't like this, maybe the win rate we had would be above. Another thing I want to do from now on is to increase the risk a bit and raise our position sizes so that we can pass this prop challenge sooner. I think we've analyzed enough to see that trading based on indicators, contrary to what many thought, can be profitable for us. I had a risk management plan and we really didn't take any particular risks. Let's move on to the lesson on Bitcoin to see the advantages of the post-halving period. Well, let's take a look at the Bitcoin situation. First of all, based on the strategy I mentioned, let's see where it would have given us a buy position. Well, here we can almost say that our situation was sideways. Now, with taking this position, I think our stop loss would have been hit right here, but temporarily the situation was sideways. As I mentioned, we should have experienced a price drop. Now let's see where we have this. If we want to look here, yes, if we want to look here, there was a very large price drop. We experienced it, and after that we had an upward movement. After it came, liquidity was gathered here. So we can have a buy position here. Place our stop loss below this swing and look for target 1, which you can see here has been hit, meaning our take profit has been reached. Now, an interesting point is that I will enlarge this a bit. If exactly where it gave us the entry position, I can almost say that it was below this level, that we experienced this price in the last few days. That is, if we say from here, it has been almost up to 1 or 2 days ago, that it gave us this price as our entry point. So when we review this strategy and examine it with a bit more precision, because it can really help a lot with your profitability trend. Okay, let's move on to Bitcoin itself and see what its overall situation looks like. As you all can see, currently the buyers have much more power, and if we want to look at it, up to the 6,700 range, approximately $1.8 billion of liquidity is being liquidated. If we reach these prices, which is a very attractive number, meaning 4, it's extremely attractive for the market maker to have a move down to the 60-70 range, and the liquidity that exists above it up to the 6,800 range is approximately $1 billion. Okay, if we go back to the chart, as you remember, I talked a lot about this liquidity and this support level. I said that we must definitely have a reversal. We must have a reversal from this level, which is exactly what happened, and the candles were very good candles. Another important point is that we have a breakout here. Another important point is that we are almost reaching the EMA 26 range, and this itself can act as resistance for us. The 66,000 range, in my opinion, is a very important area for us. And let me also point out that since the slope of the EMA is decreasing, this indicates that the EMA itself is not very reliable for us. For example, when we want to consider this area, as soon as we approach the EMA line, we've experienced a very good upward movement, and similarly, when we are almost approaching the EMA line, we have had an upward movement. And here too, it has managed to have a relatively good supportive movement. But as soon as the slope of the EMA line decreases, its support or resistance strength also diminishes. Well, if we consider this downward movement as an ABC pattern overall and connect its peak to its trough, you will observe that this 50% range, which is $66,000, can be a very important range for us. And the important range for 68,000, as I mentioned, is also significant because we have a gap there. So far, this shows that for Bitcoin, we shouldn't expect a very strong upward movement or a powerful downward movement. It's very likely that we will experience some price fluctuations within the current range. If we want to take a look at Bitcoin, you will observe that we have reached the Kumo cloud. It can provide us with very good support here. We have seen the flat Senkou span B, meaning that around the 62,000 range, it can act as very good support for us. The negative point is that Senkou span B is positioned above Senkou span A, and we should gradually expect our cloud to turn red unless we have a very strong movement in the next couple of days. This movement becomes an upward movement again. But as I mentioned to you, with the thickening of the Kumo cloud, it indicates that it is very likely we need to experience a ranging trend until our Kumo cloud becomes narrower. If we look here, we can see that the Kumo cloud has thickened here, and we experienced a ranging phase here. And the same thing has happened here, meaning our Kumo cloud has thickened and we are experiencing a ranging phase here. In the previous analysis I talked about positive divergence on the 1 hour time frame. And if we go to the 1 hour time frame, we can see that this upward movement is exactly the result of that positive divergence. And on the daily time frame, we currently have no positive or negative divergence. So if we have a bias, as I am presenting to you, the range of 58,000 to 59,000 acts as a very strong support. And the range of 61,000 to 60,000 can be considered our most important support. The range of 68,000 also acts as a very significant resistance for us. Therefore, for now, we shouldn't have the expectation that the upward movement will break or continue. We should keep this in mind. Thank you very much for being with me today. Please like the content, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about the Bitcoin analysis and the strategy I presented to you.